Just a reminder in case you didn't know, the Packers host the NFL draft in just a couple of days. We've got 3 days, 7 hours, 10 minutes, and counting. I'm super stoked. Cannot wait for the draft. Let me know. Leave your comments. Let me know, where are you going to be watching the draft? Are you going to be in Green Bay? Are you going to go to the draft live? I thought about going to the draft, and then I was like, you know what? There's going to be massive crowds of people there. I'm wanting to do this live on this channel. So then I was thinking, you know what? It's best I probably just stay at home. Join me live for the draft on this channel. I'm probably going to be doing some giveaways throughout the draft. I'm super excited about that. So join me on the draft on this channel live. Super excited. Okay, so the Green Bay Packers, history just repeated itself for the Packers with the latest mock draft. Okay, so if you remember last season, okay, so this is last year's draft order right here. So you've got round one, 2024. And if you all don't remember, I'm going to recall some build up leading to the Packers pick at 25. So you had the Philadelphia Eagles as Quinyon Mitchell started dropping in the draft. I'm like, oh my gosh, are the Packers going to be able to get Mitchell with the 25th pick? Because he kept dropping. And then the Philadelphia select at 22. They take Quinyon Mitchell. We already know the rest is history there for the Philadelphia Eagles. They actually take a couple of guys that really wanted the Packers to take at 25. So then let's just keep going. So then you've got the Dallas Cowboys selecting at 24. Okay, so the Dallas Cowboys are up. They're on the clock. We know that the Cowboys were probably going to be taking an offensive lineman. They do. They end up taking a tackle, but they're like, you know what? We're not in love with where we're at right now, how the draft order is going. We think we can get our guy if, if you just trade back into the draft. That's what they do. The Lions sneak ahead of the Green Bay Packers at 24. Okay, so and in the latest mock draft that I did, the Lions did the exact same thing again. I can't stand the Lions. I know I've said that not enough on this channel. I hate the Detroit Lions. They're my least favorite team in the NFC North. And now that they're getting better and that they're a good team now, I hate them even more because the fans are just obnoxious. But that's my 2 cents. So then you've got the Detroit Lions who sneak ahead of the Green Bay Packers. I'm pissed off that the Cowboys traded. I hate the Cowboys too. They trade with the Detroit Lions. And then you've got Terrion Arnold off the books, right? So Terrion Arnold is gone, and then I'm like, okay, this sucks. So we've got two corners that I really wanted, Mitchell and Terrion Arnold. They're both off the clock, and then it comes to the Packers at 25, and then lo and behold, Brian Gutekunst shocks everybody, and he takes a tackle, Jordan Morgan out of Arizona. There was rumors that the Commanders wanted to trade up to get Jordan Morgan. Maybe the Packers heard that, and so they jumped the gun. They take Jordan Morgan. They think this is the dude that is going to solve all issues on our offensive line. We're going to throw him every which way. We're going to play him left tackle. We can play him at guard, and it's looking more and more like he's just going to be a guard. Now, there's talks that we're going to be, working him out at left tackle or right tackle, just moving him all around on the line just in case. He is one of those athletic guys that we think we're yet to see it, but he is one of those athletic guys that you can play in multiple positions. But it looked pretty heavily that the Packers were dead set on putting him at guard. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. So then you go along in the draft, and then you've got a guy that I super wanted in Green Bay, and that was Cooper DeJean. And then, as the draft continues to unveil, you're seeing Cooper DeJean is still available at the end of the first round. And I'm like, okay, if the Packers want Cooper DeJean and they want to solve their secondary issues, go and trade up. Go and trade up, get Cooper DeJean. And then what do the Philadelphia Eagles do? With the 40th pick, they select, and that was from Washington through Chicago, through a series of stuff. Cooper DeJean ends up going to the now it all worked out for us because we've got Edgerrin Cooper. Edgerrin Cooper is one of the best athletes, I think, in this draft. And I think as time goes on, we're going to see that. Okay, so let's take a look at the latest mock draft. Okay, so I'm going to try to fly through this as quickly as possible to get to what I'm talking about. So you got the Tennessee Titans taking Cam Ward. No surprise there. Shadil Sanders going to the Browns. Really not a shock there. So you got quarterback 1-2 off the ground. off the board, right? And then you've got Travis Hunter to the Giants. Really not a surprise or a shock there that the Giants would go and get Travis Hunter, a guy that can be a cornerback and a wide receiver. Now they would primarily use him as a corner, and then they would bring him in as a wideout to help out one of my feel one of the best. I feel the best wideout in last year's draft in Malik Neighbors. Okay, so then you've got the Patriots. Now there's rumors that the Patriots could move on from this draft pick as well to trade back. As you keep going, you got Tyler Warren, the first tight end off the board with Penn State. He goes to the Jets. Jets have a lot of needs. Carolina Panthers also with a lot of needs. They take the first corner off the draft, and that's Will Johnson out of Michigan. Now, this might be a little bit of a stretch right here, taking Will Johnson as early as they did at number 8, but a lot of mock drafts that do have Will Johnson coming off the board. And then you've got Will Campbell, LSU. You got a tackle, got a couple of tackles. Missouri cornerback Barron. He has been slated to go to the Packers in a lot of mock drafts, and he goes to San Francisco right here at the 11th. Not a surprise that Barron would be off the board at number 11. Really love to see him in Green Bay. I just don't think he's going to be there when the Packers select. You got the Dallas Cowboys selecting a wide receiver. Now, this is a little bit of a surprise to me because the more and more as the draft builds up, I'm seeing Emeka Ibuka maybe even falling into the second round. Maybe the Packers can take him in the second round. Who knows? Time is going to tell there, but Emeka Ibuka is off the board here to the Dallas Cowboys. We know that they're going to need some help there next to CeeDee Lamb. That's an obvious choice for the Dallas Cowboys to select a wide receiver. Genty. Now, has the Bears taken a tackle? I don't see that happening. I see them certainly going towards Ashton Genty. I think he's going to be the first running back gone. I do think the Miami Dolphins are going to be taking a running back. But anyways, you got the Colts selecting a linebacker. Atlanta Falcons have a ton of needs right there, and I think they're actually going to trade out because I think they only have 5 picks in this draft. So you've got Mike Green gone off the board. I feel one of the best edges, if not the best edge in this draft, at least for the ceiling. I think Mike Green is quite the selection. Then you've got the Arizona Cardinals taking an edge. And then you've got the Cincinnati Bengals with a tackle off the board. You got Seattle taking an edge. And then you've got Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting a safety. There's talks that they would be interested in shopping that pick. The Denver Broncos take Hampton. I think he's going to Miami when that time comes, but he falls to 20 here. The Denver Broncos capitalize. That's a good pick for them at 20. Then you got the Pittsburgh Steelers. And notice this is also assuming that Aaron Rodgers is going to be going to Pittsburgh because with the 21st pick in the first round, and there's 2 quarterbacks gone, I don't see a world where the Pittsburgh Steelers pass up an opportunity to go and draft a quarterback. And I know Kenneth Grant would be a gift falling to them at 21, but I don't see them. And now, again, that's assuming that Aaron Rodgers is going to be going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's a different story for a different time. And then you got the Detroit Lions. You knew the Chargers were picking here, and then you got the Lions drafting ahead of the Packers. Now, in this particular mock draft, it has them taking a linebacker out of Georgia. That's not a need for the Packers. I don't see them going and getting a linebacker in the first round, certainly. Okay, so it has the Lions trading right ahead of the Packers. History repeats itself. The Lions pissed me off. They draft ahead of the Packers in this scenario. And if that happens in all actuality, and that's back-to-back years, that makes me hate them even more. And then you got the Packers taking an edge. You got Stewart out of Texas A&M, and then you've got that's not a surprise. Okay, there's a lot of mock drafts that have the Packers taking Stewart as an edge right there. I think they don't need to go that route. There's going to be a lot of edges in this draft, and I think they can wait till the 3rd round to get an edge. So I would be, not that I'm upset with this pick. I certainly think, let's take a look at who goes after him, right? So you've got Burden going after, and if he's there for the Packers, that's somebody that you could capitalize. And you got a tackle in Josh Simmons. I wouldn't be upset if they went the offensive line route in the first round if Josh Simmons happens to fall to them. Now, this is, I feel, the best tackle in the draft. Some may argue with me there. And then you've got Loveland, a tight end, going, and then you've got Matthew Golden, who is talked about as being one of the best wide receivers in this draft, but he keeps falling in a lot of mock drafts. And then he goes to the Chargers where the Lions would be picking. And I'm sure the Lions would actually love to have him because there's a lot of rumors there that Mike Williams isn't going to be there um, for the long haul. So you've got this is the latest mock draft, and then you've got Trey Amos going to the Buffalo Bills, and then last you have Williams, another guy that's potentially slated to go to the Green Bay Packers. Philadelphia takes him with the 32nd pick. But leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts, where you're going to be watching the draft. I would love to see you here on this channel. But as always, go Pack Go.